You ever wake up thinking the worst thing that could happen is scratching your car, and then by sunset you're fighting off an organized crime ring run by your own HOA president? Yeah, that happened. And before you go, thinking I'm exaggerating, let me just walk you through the wildest 3 months of my life, all triggered by one sun-drenched Saturday morning and a McLaren I'd spent half a decade dreaming about. So picture this, I'm standing in my garage, early light, catching every angle of that blue McLaren, making the whole thing glow like a piece of the sky itself. Music humming. I'm on my hands and knees with a fresh can of wax, proud as hell because I earned every inch of that car. Grew up fixing bikes in my grandma's basement, remember? Anyway, today's supposed to be about celebration. My big community garden project is opening, families coming together, neighbors connecting, maybe some healing in a town that's gotten a little too good at looking the other way. Instead, I hear those notorious click-clack heels, and it's Marilyn Richards, HOA president. Silver hair, perfect eyes, sharp as glass. But this time she's not alone. Her son Tyler trails behind her, decked out in a Navy uniform with shiny badges and a holster on his belt. He used to just nod at me at block parties. Now he's got a jaw so clenched he could snap a tooth. And the way Marilyn's staring at me, you'd think I ran over her cat on purpose. "Luke, we need to discuss your unauthorized community project," she says, voice like a judge about to bang the gavel. "You violated architectural review regulations. This could escalate into criminal charges, property seizure, financial ruin." I stand there, microfiber in hand, heart pounding because I did everything by the book. Meetings, paperwork, 3 rounds of reviews. "Marilyn, I submitted everything. You were there. I got the green light." Her face doesn't budge. "Approval process was incomplete. You missed permits. Your plant choices don't fit our guidelines." I try to keep my cool, but Tyler steps forward suddenly, all business flashing what looks like a real badge. "I'm authorized to secure vehicles during compliance investigations." His voice shakes just a hair, but the badge and the gun make my blood run cold. Let me just say, I've run businesses. I know how to spot a hustle, and this smelled like a con. "Since when can the HOA seize my car? Who do you work for?" I press, but Tyler's got answers rehearsed to avoid the truth. "Sir, please step away from the vehicle. Your cooperation is required for proper resolution." Now I'm in full fight-or-flight mode, but Marilyn's grinning like she's already won. "You'll get your car back when you comply. You have 72 hours. Then just like that, Tyler slides behind the wheel of my McLaren engine, howling, and drives off down the block with my $60,000, $1,000 car while I stand there so stunned I can barely breathe. That's when it really hits me. They're not just coming for my car. They're trying to crush everything I built. I grab my laptop and start digging. Turns out state law says HOAs can fine you, sure, maybe even take you to court for code violations, but seizing vehicles impersonating cops, that's felony territory. 15 minutes later, Officer Rebecca Mallory shows up, sharp, no nonsense, already scribbling notes before she even hears my whole story. I lay it out: Tyler's badge, Marilyn's threats, the car gone without a trace of real paperwork. She looks up dead serious and says, "That's criminal impersonation, Mr. Bennett. Real officers never hide their badge numbers." And then, like a script twist out of nowhere, Maria Santos, who works down at City Planning, hurries over, voice shaking. "Officer, that same guy took my husband's truck 3 months ago. Said he was investigating immigration. We were too scared to report it." Then Mrs. Patel, always quiet, never involved, comes up to me later, whispering, "She knows everything, Luke. Where our kids go to school, when you run in the morning, who parks in your driveway. She's been watching us all." That's when the dominoes start falling. Turns out the Rodriguez family lost their landscaping trailer. The Johnsons handed over their RV, all to the same fake cop routine. Each one was told, "Mess with the HOA, lose what you've worked for." And always, always the targets were families who might support the garden or didn't fit the neighborhood's old guard idea of who belonged. I can still see Mrs. Rodriguez's face as she told Officer Mallory how Tyler threatened to call immigration on her, how she feared for her daughter every day. Greg Thompson, ex-detective, my neighbor, joins the circle and says he's been tracking Marilyn and Tyler for months. Envelope handoffs, meetings with strangers in expensive cars. Luke, this is organized crime, not just some HOA drama. From there, things escalate fast. My phone buzzes with anonymous threats. Drop it, or next time it won't just be your car. The more we dig, the more we find records disappearing from city offices. Public documents suddenly under review, legal walls springing up. I'm not fighting a neighborhood busybody anymore. I'm fighting a criminal syndicate with roots in City Hall. Enter David Miller, a civil rights attorney with eyes that see right through you. He's seen this before. Corrupt HOAs, crooked judges, development corporations, using intimidation to force out minorities and longtime residents for high-dollar projects. And Maria, bless her, brings the smoking gun secret partnership papers. Proof that Maryland's been paid off by Morrison Development to clear out the garden to make way for condos nobody here can afford. And then Janet Chen, board member, always seemed like Maryland's ally, pulls me aside. Luke, I've seen the files. She's got dirt on everyone. Surveillance reports, financial details, even kids' schedules. Turns out Janet's been documenting everything, scared to speak up until now. With David leading, our neighborhood finally starts pushing back. Mrs. Rodriguez holds meetings in her backyard. Families compare notes. Everyone's got a story. Threats, property snatched, lives disrupted. We build a case not just for stolen cars, but for systematic terror, for racketeering and civil rights violations. One morning, FBI and federal marshals are swarming Green Valley. Search warrants fly, and it turns out Tyler wasn't even the only fake officer. There are more, all working the same scam in other communities. They cart Marilyn off in cuffs. Tyler breaks down and confesses everything: the scripts, the payments, the judge on the take. Turns out the judge handling my case had been getting cash in private dinners too. The courtroom is packed for the trial. Tyler testifies, voice shaking, confessing to everything. My mother convinced me we were protecting the community. Marilyn cracks under cross, finally screaming in open court. We built something beautiful here, and they were going to destroy it. Her racist motivations, her disdain for outsiders spill out for all to hear. Janet's secret recordings seal the deal. We hear Marilyn and the developers plotting, picking targets, discussing payouts and fear tactics. Judge Williams, a federal judge brought in for her ironclad integrity sentences, Maryland to 25 years, the developer execs to 20, the corrupt judge to 20. And Tyler, who helped bring it all down, gets 8 years plus community service and mandatory counseling. The best part, our garden opens again. Mrs. Rodriguez is back swapping recipes with Mrs. Chen, kids playing in the dirt, families laughing together. My McLaren is back too, but it's not about the car anymore. It's about knowing we stood up, all of us together, and said no to fear, no to racism, no to criminal abuse hiding behind HOA rules. Maybe that's the real win. Not the headlines, not the court victories, but knowing we turned a place built on suspicion and intimidation into a community where nobody gets left behind. And if you're sitting there thinking, would I have fought back? I want to hear your answer. Drop a comment. Share your own story. Let's talk justice. What would you have done if your HOA tried to pull this off? Because sometimes all it takes is one voice, then another and another. And suddenly you've got a community again. You know what I mean?